Okay. One last thing. Let's see. I'm gonna go back to Marquee Tool. Oh, make sure feathering's at 0. Under the Select menu, you also have Transform Selection. This can be extremely handy, especially if you're selecting something that's not quite right how you want it. You can elongate it. You can grab by holding the Control key. You can grab a corner and skew it a little bit. So you have some transform options. Basically, it's the same transform function that you have when transforming an image. You can make it smaller, larger. So you have the same options there with the transform selection. And I just hit return to or enter to commit that transformation. Okay. Now we're going to talk about masks. I'm going to go to the layer panel here. I'm going to actually remove all of my channels too. Go to my layer panel, and I'm going to duplicate this image. And to make a mask on it, you're going to all you have to do is click this mask button. It's the square with the circle in the middle. You just click that button. Click it once. I hit it twice accidentally. It makes a mask for that image. And there's two types of masks. There's basically a bitmap or pixel mask, or a vector mask. Right now I'm just going to go over the pixel mask, and I'll go over the vector masks later. So we can see that we have a layer and we have a mask. Right now we're not seeing any difference between anything different in the image, and the reason is because I just duplicated the background layer. So the layer right now we have selected with the mask is exactly identical to the background layer. So what I can do to kind of show the difference, we'll just go into the image and we'll do adjustment, and we'll just do a curve on it, and we'll darken it. So that way you can see what's happening. We can see that this layer that I just darkened, the only parts of the layer that I'm seeing is what I have masked there. So, and we can see that in the image, the mask correlates to what we see in our layer panel here. And if you need to view a mask, you can either just alt-click and you can actually see the black and white mask, or if you want to see the image and the mask, you just hold the click on the backslash key, and it shows you a representation of your mask. Usually it defaults to red, but you can double click on the mask to change the color if you want. You can make it yellow, orange. Hit OK. You also have the ability to actually double click. You can change the opacity. So if you want it to be more opaque, you can change it like 80%, so we see less of the underlying image. Or if that's too distracting, you can maybe do it like the 30%. It's more subtle if you needed to see the background image. The thing about masks, whatever is white in a mask is revealing that part of the layer, and whatever is black conceals that part of the layer. And masks are basically black and white images. Anything that you can do to a black and white image, you can do to a mask. So we have our mask here. I can go into the filter menu. You can blur a mask, which actually gives the same effect as like a feathering selection. So a lot of times I won't even feather a selection. I'll select, create a mask, and then if I need to soften it overall, I'll just blur it, do a Gaussian blur on it, and then I'll give that same feather effect. You can see now that the edges got a lot softer there. Again, we can do other effects too. We can add noise. We can do brush strokes around the edges. I think I can. Okay, so we're not actually seeing much with the...
It's better.
Yeah, maybe we'll do spatter or sprayed strokes. Maybe some of these sketch ones. Graphic pen actually probably will work good. Let's see. Okay. All right. So we put graphic pen. We used graphic pen there. Now you can see that we created this border effect now because it applied that graphic pen effect to the mask. So I mean, there's all kinds of things you can do. You can just grab the brush tools, what I use a lot of times, and you can just brush through the mask, doing something special with it. Now, a lot of times you'll have to mask out like a certain area. Maybe I only want this to affect this green. I want the green triangle here on the umbrella masked. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just fill the mask with black. Since black conceals, it basically concealed that whole layer. So now I don't see anything, any part of that layer. And then I'm going to zoom in, if the control key would work here. There we go. And what I can do is I can maybe use the magic wand tool, start with that. And we'll just make a few selections in here. Oh, and we went a little too far. So what we're going to do is we're just going to fill that with white. You can hit, since white right now is my background color, I can hit control backspace. We'll fill with the background color. And then I'm going to deselect my selection. I can see that I selected all of this water here that I don't want. So what I'll do is I grab the brush tool and we'll just paint that out real quick. Oh, I got a lot of that. What I'll do is I'll just make a real quick, just brush it really quick around the edges. And then once I get the majority of this kind of splatter overspray there, once I get rid of most of that, then I'll just zoom in real close and then just clean up the edges. And I see that it didn't quite pick up all this, so I'm actually brushing with white. And what I did was I just hit the X key. The X key will switch your foreground and background colors. So I just switched my foreground background colors, and then I'll just paint in here.